So welcome to a new part of the brand review series, and as you've seen, we're talking today about Lisa Eldridge, basically just in celebration of her, first of all, her new launch. So she brought out like eye pencils. I skipped that launch, to be honest, because I do have a lot of eye pencils. And I also want to just talk about the brand and about the history of Lisa Eldridge makeup, because she is just a person that truly inspires me, and I don't know why, but I just find it so fascinating because whatever she's doing, it's like groundbreaking all the fucking time. I myself only have 6 products of the Lisa Eldridge range that are 2 of their like super duper popular eyeshadow palettes. The foundation, I have 2 lipsticks, and the newest addition is the Seamless Elevated Glow highlighting thing. So basically we are using today all of these products, and we will talk a bit, like always, about the brand's history. So they don't have like a real face primer, so I'm using my MAC Prep and Prime Skin Base that I just cannot stop using since I did the brand review on MAC last week. Oh my god, I think the whole week I only used this because I just fell in love with this primer. It is so fucking stunning. Is it better than my Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte? I don't want to say that because I feel like they're totally different products. So we're talking about Lisa Eldridge. And the thing is that when you talk about Lisa Eldridge, you cannot talk about the Lisa Eldridge brand without talking about the Lisa Eldridge person. I had some hard times finding out like when she the fuck was born, because I found 2 different dates. On Google Books, for whatever reason, they say she is born in 1974, and on Wikipedia it says 1966. To be honest, I think it's 1974. I don't think it's 1966. If you have any valid source or like somewhere maybe where she said it when she was born, then please let me know. But these are the 2 years that I found when she was born. But she was born in Auckland, so in New Zealand, but later moved on with her family to Liverpool, and now she's still like an England-based makeup artist. By the way, since that MAC brand review, I can also not stop using the MAC Paint Pot as my primer. So many years got wasted by trying myself through every single piece of primer that I could find, while the whole time a fantastic primer was already on the market. This stuff is pure gold in a pot. Like, I really hope that these do make a comeback. Like, please support the comeback of MAC paint pots. Okay, so for the eye look that we are going to do, we're using 2 of her eye palettes. One of these is still sold out, well, as of today. Today is September 8th as I'm filming this. And the other palette just got back in stock September 7th. So I'm not sure if when you see this, if the palette is still in stock, but if it is, you should definitely grab it. So one of the eye palettes we're going to use is Lisa Eldridge Vega. This is, I said it in my top 3 series that I never finished, to be honest, but this is one of my most favorite eyeshadow palettes. And you might be like, what the fuck, why is this your favorite eyeshadow palette? This is boring as shit. And that's why it is my favorite eyeshadow palette, because this motherfucker is my rescue pal. Like, whenever an eye look does not work out the way I want it to be, whenever there's something missing, maybe a bit of a more smoothed out finish, or a more darkened thing, or more glitz and glamour, this saves the day. And you see, I even have a pan. Like, I don't have a lot of eyeshadow pans, to be honest. This is the 3rd eyeshadow pan that I have in over, I don't know, 1,900 pans. I'm not too sure how many it really are, but this, you guys, this speaks volumes, because this is so good. This is the shade French Grey, and it's just like, it is stunning. But Vega, unfortunately, is as of today not in stock, but what went back in stock like yesterday in my time zone is Sorcery. And I can't even tell you what exactly it is about the Sorcery palette, because this is definitely not a standalone palette. This is a companion, but this is one of the most beautiful companions that I have ever seen. First of all, just in general, this sleek, elegant packaging. Lisa Eldridge has just a talent for good packaging. Well, besides the foundation, but we are going to talk about this issue later on. But I mean, look at this. Look at this beautiful packaging. And these are, by the way, exchangeable pens. So that means you can pop out every single shade and either replace it with the same or you buy something else. When they came out with their eyeshadow palettes, I think it was like last year, people went nuts. And I was very lucky because the first that I got was the Vega one. I immediately went on the website, bought it and went out. And then I just saw reviews and swatches of the Sorcery palette and I was just like, shit, I need that. And my luck was that like 2 or 3 weeks later, Sorcery went back in stock, and now nearly a year kind of I feel afterwards it got back in stock again. So they came out last year with 6 eyeshadow palettes: Vega, Cinnabar, Sorcery, Muse and Myth. Muse and Cinnabar they're way too neutral for me. Like Cinnabar is your, as the name says, your very warm, cinnamony kind of looking palette, while Muse is more in the mauve, reddish tone side. But Myth, fuck me, this is like a deep dive purple deliciousness, and I'm still waiting until this is back in stock because I really want to have Myth. Like that palette I still want to have. But I'm very happy that I have Vega and Sorcery, so we are going to do a look where I combine both of these. Oh, they're so pretty. I can't even decide what I want to wear from this palette because I just want to wear all of them. I think the shade that really sucked me into Sorcery is this one, Madrigal. This is one of those old golds. This is to me like antique Baroque gold, and this is just a type of gold that is very different from the golds we see today. I'm a sucker for glitzy white golds or for yellowish golds, but I'm also very, very intrigued by this version where you have clearly a greenish undertone to it, more of an olive undertone. Love that. But of course, since we are using also Vega, we need to start the look with French Grey. I myself think that if you are into makeup, and I'm talking about more into makeup than just like the average consumer that is outside the beauty space, they can skip that. But if you are somewhat inside the beauty space, doing your makeup, watching YouTube video, watching TikTok even, like being interested in releases and all that shit, you cannot take a step in this world without like reading, hearing or seeing about Lisa Eldridge, because there is makeup history and there are certain like stepstones in the makeup history that change these steps forever. But Lisa Eldridge herself is history. She's not only part of this history, she is the history, because she just influenced trends and celebrity makeup and just the whole appearance of makeup in a way that is unmatched in my opinion. So I just went into Turbulence and I used this to deepen up the crease because I want to focus like the main parts of the look in the Sorcery palette, because I barely use Sorcery out of the fear like that I am using these up and then I cannot repurchase this because it's sold out. But I just checked the website and it's still not sold out, so hopefully you will be able to grab this. So in 2003, the career of Lisa Eldridge really started to develop because she worked together with the magazine Elle on a look with the famous Cindy Crawford. If you don't know who Cindy Crawford is, I don't know where you have been. Even if you're not into modeling and shit, which I clearly am not, I know who Cindy Crawford is because she's an icon. So from 2003 until 2013, which is super duper long, Lisa Eldridge was the creative director of Boots No. 7. If you don't know the brand, I think this is an awesome drugstore brand. And I remember 10 years back, like 2013, 2014 around-ish, I wanted to have Boots stuff so badly, but it is not available in Germany. I think there are now some shops that do sell certain things of the No. 7 brand, but not all of them. And I lived in London 2013, and I remember that one of the first things that I did when I arrived in London, I unpacked my shit and I talked to my guest family there, and then the next thing I did was, can you drive me to a Boots in the city because I want to buy No. 7 makeup? And they introduced me to that big boot store. I think it's on the Oxford Street. That is or like 3 levels or so. Or at least it was back then, but maybe it was another street because I'm very bad with street names. But it's the same street where also Harrods was, I think. You know, it's 10 years ago. Please don't judge me if that is completely wrong. But I remember that this was like a 3-level high boot store, and it was one of the most amazing experiences I ever had, because I was like, in Germany, drugstores are like a tiny niche shop somewhere, and it's always crowded and full. And this was like, for me at that time, pure heaven. So I'm now going into Troubadour, which is one of the matte shades in the Sorcery palette. And I use this on one of those angled fluffy brushes because I think you can already guess it. I use this to deepen up the outer V area and take this a bit into the crease. And Troubadour is just a dark green, basically. The thing is, with the Sorcery palette, you have only one matte in here. But you could do looks with only this one matte because it is green, and this green shade does work with the blue, with the gold. With this one, by the way, this is called Swan Song. No, wait a second. No, this is Mercurial, and this is one of those oil spill colors, and I love this description of it, like oil in a puddle. Awesome. So besides being the director for Boots number 7 till the year 2013, Lisa Eldridge was also creative director, for example, of Shiseido, Chanel, and is to this day still, even though she has her own brand, the global creative director of Lancôme. I didn't know that because I was like, okay, Lisa Eldridge, history and stuff. Who knows what brand she participated to, like, basically just shape makeup history. But that she still this day is creative director of Lancôme, I think is super duper impressive. But the fact that she still is working as an active artist in a creative director position is just telling me how much she loves this, how much passion she truly has for this. She could easily retire from like a real job and just live off the shit she's already done, but she's still here for the passion. Like, how awesome is that? You know what? Let's deepen that up even more with black. And I used this on one of those like very tiny brushes. The shade, by the way, is called Lamp Black, and surprisingly has quite a deep dip into it because this is one of the best blacks I own, to be honest. Have I said to be honest twice? I don't know. It's warm. So what I do is I just apply this on top like that, and now it looks like super duper messy, but I go in with the brush I used Turbulence with, but with no additional product, and then I just basically smooth that into the rest. You see the difference between this and this? This just made such a big difference. Lisa Eldridge was 2002 one of the first makeup artists with her own website, and in 2010 started her YouTube channel. I think the first real video went up in 2011, and I have to shamelessly admit I never watched Lisa Eldridge videos. The only video I watched to this day was when her eyeshadows dropped. Then she had like an hour-long video explaining everything about the different finishes, about the shades, about the choices, everything. And that was the only video I ever watched in my life from Lisa Eldridge. But the reason behind that is not that I don't like her, because I think Lisa Eldridge, first of all, she's an icon. She is the definition of sophisticated makeup, in my opinion, the definition of elegant makeup. But that's not my style. You know, I like loud makeup, I like colorful makeup, and I mean, you can achieve it. You see, we will do a very loud look today with Lisa Eldridge products, but her videos never sparked this interest in me, like her makeup let alone does. I don't know how to better explain that, but Lisa Eldridge is sharing all of her knowledge on her YouTube channel. And as if I am not a fan of her person by just all that, and you know, even though I don't watch her content, I still am a fan of her person. I really adore Lisa Eldridge. She's also a good person. Like, how good can someone be? I'm sorry for the loud noise in the background, but we just get delivered sand for our garden. That is a bit loud now and I don't want to interrupt filming. So I'm very sorry. So I'm now going into Grotto, which is this beautiful metallic green. Oh my god, how loud could that be? But you know what? You stayed with me through like bad microphone times, so you will stay with me through that short amount of noise. So what I do is I apply that green metallic shade on the outer part. Like, this is so fucking stunning. So as I said, Lisa Eldridge started her YouTube channel in 2010, and I think her first video went up in 2011. And now, I mean, I said it already, she's also a good person because still to this day, she has not accepted any single form of like sponsored content or payment or whatever to promote products on her channel. And all the revenue that she gets from the YouTube advertising program is going into charity for education and health for women. I don't even know how to describe my feelings for that, because I think that is just the most selfless thing to do. And by doing this, she raised over £200,000 for this charity, which is around 230k euro. I think that is just so awesome. And that again just shows me that she uses her like reach, her engagement rates, her way of connecting with people to do something fucking good. Of course, we're now using Madrigal, this beautiful gold. I just have to. And I apply this in the center or here. You know what? I do apply this only in the center and I blend that into the green because they work together so nice. I'm now using Mercurial because of course I have to use a shade like this. And I basically just fill in the inner part of the eye and blend that into the gold. This is basically just too small of a space to show the full potential of this shade, but I just wanted to incorporate this. So when you are such an icon in the makeup industry, being artist for a list of clients that would take me a good 20 minutes to read, because she is basically the inventor of flawless red carpet makeup. You have a list of her clients on the website, and that was shockingly long. Like, I knew that she is like the celebrity makeup artist, but I was not aware of that. Like, that is super long. So I'm now going in with the Elevated Glow Seamless Skin highlighter. This can be used in multiple ways. A lot of the videos show her like using this as a highlighter directly, but I use stuff like that all over the face just for a certain glow. And this is the shade Pink Moon. They have a couple of shades with different undertones and all that. And how do I say this? I like it. You know, I'm a fan of products like this, you know, Hollywood Flawless Filter, Fenty Ease Droplet, the Isamaya Skin Lag, Chanel Skin Enhancer. Like, I have 10 of these standing here around and I like it, but to be honest, it's not my favorite. First of all, I was a bit disappointed by the fact that this is 50 ml because I mean, it's truly on me. It's my fault that I did not read the website because I just basically blind bought this just by looking up how the shades look. But I also think that the amount of glow is just not right for me. It's like very, very subtle. I would even say it is more subtle than the Ease Droplet, and that is like really subtle. I still like the consistency, I like the way it applies, I like the way it kind of looks overall, but it's definitely nothing I would repurchase. And now let's go in with the foundation. I said it in my top 3 favorites that this is the only foundation that ever made people say something about my skin appearance because it's just so seamless, just as the name says. And in my video about like awesome makeup with bullshit packaging, I also mentioned this because this is shaped like a long egg. And I cannot store this on my desk without keeping like a part of the packaging that it came in because it just needs to stand in there. I don't like this packaging at all, and I think this is the only packaging that is not made good. Why do you give us a foundation that is rolling around? I don't get this. I like the overall, like the shape and the way you can grab it, and maybe this is good for a makeup artist kit. I don't know, but like for a private one who's just standing their foundations bottom down, this is not working. By the way, I am shade 4 in the Seamless Skin Foundation. Just for reference, in MAC I'm an NC10. I'm a light 2 in Pat McGrath. I am, oh my god, let me not think that out of my head. 0 and 1 or 1 and 0? 1 and 0 in Estee Lauder. I'm 0.3 Silk Ivory, I think is the shade name, but it's 0.3 in Tom Ford. And I'm a 4 in House Labs, just for shade reference. And the thing is, because of this bad packaging, I barely use this foundation because it gets overlooked in my collection. Of course, keep in mind, I have a big collection. Like I have 30 foundations standing here. And by the way, when we're done with this, I am going to film a foundation declutter because I really need to. But again, it just gets overlooked because it's not where all the other foundations are. It stands next to it. So to blend this in, I use my Hourglass. It's the Hourglass foundation brush. I think this specific one came out last year with the ambient lighting foundation, and I bought the foundation together with the brush, and it's a really good brush. I love Hourglass brushes in general, and Lisa Eldridge has brushes too, but I never tried them because her brushes are more like, they're more makeup artist brushes. So for example, for the foundation brush, she has one of those like flat brushes that I never use. So I don't see the point in trying the brushes because I feel like it's not the right shape for me. So to smooth it out, of course, I use a sponge like so. And I always go back with a bit of product on that sponge too, to cover up some certain spots. But I mean, just look at this in general. It looks so stunning. It is one of the best foundation formulas I ever tried. Is this my favorite foundation? Definitely not, because my favorite is Chanel Supplément Le Temps. This is the best foundation that you can find in the market, in my personal opinion, but the Lisa Eldridge one, I think I ranked at 3rd place. So let's now finish the eye makeup, and I go back into Lamp Black with one of those like flat brushes. And I basically press that on the outer third. I don't want to bring this all the way in because I want to use some other mattes for that. I'm now going into Smoke and Mirrors from Vega, and I use a pencil brush for that. And I now smudge this all along the lash line. So when you are Lisa Eldridge and you are a fucking icon in the makeup world and on YouTube and everything that has to do with makeup, what is your next step? Of course, creating your own brand. Trying to translate the passion that you have for makeup into your own brand. And in 2018, Lisa Eldridge came out with the first capsule collection that had the True Velvet lipsticks. These lipsticks actually sold out in a couple hours, so that people just totally went nuts with these. And I do have 2 of these True Velvet lipsticks too, and they're freaking awesome. I'm now going into French Grey again on a smudgy, small smudgy brush. And I apply this like along, a bit like underneath most of the color to diffuse it and to just bring it down a bit more. So since this first capsule collection was so successful, she came out, of course, with new collections in 2019 and 2020. And in 2020, Lisa Eldridge, as makeup brand, got the reward as, let me read that off, the best niche brand from the readers of the Temptalia blog. If you don't know who Temptalia is, this is like the makeup blog, or used to be the makeup blog. Temptalia cut herself a bit out of business. There's a long post on her blog that she basically is focusing a bit more on mental health to get back on track. And we just thank Temptalia for all her duties that she did for us, and she still is doing for us. So I thought of using Mage, or Mage, I think it's Mage, for the inner corner highlight, but it might be a bit too intense since this is like a true silver. So let's use this one. This is called Supernova. This is a really nice, borderline wet looking highlight shade for me. What I did not know is that since 2018, Lisa Eldridge also has jewelry. Did you know that? You can buy that under the website. I think it's Lisa Eldridge Jewels. Yeah, lisaeldridgejewels.com. And I went on that website and I very, very fast closed the window because I cried in pour. Like, this is very, very expensive jewelry. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware of the fact that when you use like real gold, real silver, real jewels, that this is fucking expensive. But we're talking about price ranges around 1,000 to 1,500 euro for a pair of earrings. What I kind of like that she has like little charms for necklaces and for like, what's the term for the necklace, for the thing around your, is it wristband? Wait, bracelet. Dump me. Yeah, for the little bracelets where you can hang on the charms, and these have the shape of her lipsticks in I think 3 of her best-selling shades. But each of this charm is like selling for 800, 700, 500 euros, something like that, but it's really expensive. Personally, it's not my style of jewelry, so even if I had the money, I probably would not buy from them because, I mean, where should I put earrings? The diameter of these earrings is probably the same as my tunnels. In 2022, so last year, the Lisa Eldridge makeup brand also got the award for New Expert-Led Beauty Brand by the Sunday Times Beauty Style Awards, and I think that is like a really big thing. And to be honest, I think that we can expect so much more from the Lisa Eldridge brand in the future. There is a leaked picture floating around the internet about a concealer release that is called the Pinpoint Concealer, and I was completely sure that when she announced that there is a new product coming that won't be eye pencils as it was, that I thought it would be the concealer. So I'm a bit, I don't know if it's a good market move or not, because I feel like we're flooded with concealers currently. So maybe the thing that she's like waiting a bit more for that concealer to launch is something good. Okay, the makeup is done now, so all we have to do is lips. And I do have 2 colors of the Velvet lipsticks. One is Duchess. It's this beautiful blue toned red that I surprisingly like a lot. But I also have a more like wearable color, at least for me, because red is really far out of my comfort zone. This is Velvet Muse, and this is a nudie, very basic brownish color. And I actually wanted to get a lip liner, but all the lip liners that I anticipated to buy were sold out, so we're going to use something else. I'm using the Sephora lip stain liner in the shade Classic Beige. That is matching definitely the Muse lipstick. So as I just said, I think we can expect so much more from the brand Lisa Eldridge. Why do I always want to say the bland? I don't know. Oh, look at this color. By the way, this is like kind of weird how matching the Classic Beige shade is to this Muse shade. That looks pretty awesome. So what can we expect from the brand? Personally, aside from the leaked concealer launch, I think the brand's next move should be something like more base, like complexion products. I'm talking bronzer, blush, and highlighter. I know there was a liquid blush in a tube, I think 2018 or 19 or something like that. People loved that, but the packaging was bullshit. And Lisa Eldridge recently did a like Q&A on Instagram, and somebody asked about these blushes, if she will ever bring these back, and she answered yes, that she's working on them. So we will expect blushes, I think, next year. And now I wanted to say we can expect brushes. I think just like extending the baseline would be an awesome move for her, because, you know, her base complexion products or the makeup she does with base and complexion is just always super flawless. It might be nothing that I prefer, like, because everything is really like toned down, sophisticated and glowy, but as you can see, even though like her whole makeup style and her vibe is very muted and elegant toned down, you're able to create loud looks like this, especially with a beautiful palette like Sorcery. The fact that the brand has been around since 2018, so that means now 5 years, and the product line is so small. I mean, we have lipsticks in different versions, we have lip glosses and liners. New are the Velveteens, which are liquid lipsticks. One foundation, a glow thing, and a bit of skincare. Like they have a cleanser that I actually didn't like. I had a sample size when I ordered the last time and I was not a fan. They do have a makeup like refreshing spray, I think, and brushes. Did I forget some? Oh, the liquid shadows, but I never tried these, so I can't say that. So it's a small collection of products, and it's the same as if you go to a restaurant that has a really small menu, because then you know that these few items they have, they will put the most effort into this and they will be awesome. And that's the same feeling that I get with Lisa Eldridge. And I don't think that it's necessary for her to expand her range into like this excessive thing, like for example a Colourpop does. Of course you cannot compare Lisa Eldridge and Colourpop, but you know what I mean with the range. I'd rather have 1 or 2 releases of products a year, but I know that with these releases a lot of work went into, and they will be at their very, very best quality. So that's basically it for the video. I hope you liked it. Tell me, how do you feel about the brand? Do you have any Lisa Eldridge makeup? Did you maybe order the eye pencils? And if you did, how do you like them? Is this something I really have to try? Because I feel like you can't do a lot of wrong with eye pencils, and €29 per pencil, that's a bold price. So let me know if you tried them. And don't forget to subscribe and all the shit. Info box, you know what I want to say. See you in the next one.